Danielle Politti, and I'm a public relations intern here at Success Communications Group. And today we have Tom Marguccio, the creative director, and Donna Zolla, the account director. And we're going to ask them a few questions about their role here in the advertising department. So we're going to start with Donna. Hi, Donna. How has social media impacted advertising?
Oh, it's completely changed it. Not just because everybody's on social media, but because every client thinks they should be on social media. So you have to pretty much weigh, and social media is great. I mean, there's so many ways to communicate now, but you really have to weigh the client and who their consumer is to see if social media is actually right for them. And if you're, let's say you're targeting people that are the millennials, definitely social media is the right way to go. And you wouldn't be doing newspaper, for example, anymore, where in the past, everything was newspaper, everything was TV. But now, knowing that social media is out there and knowing so many people are connected, you can actually often get a better rate for a client. You can do more because it's more cost effective than TV.
Yeah, sure.
But on the other hand, if you're targeting people that are in their, 60s, for example.
Why do you look at me when you say
No. Tom, the youth's right here. Young man. We have one client who it's a builder, and they target people in the 55 plus community. And we find retirement types of homes. The best way to reach those people is still newspaper. They still read their newspapers. Every Sunday, my parents love their newspaper. I still love my newspaper. So you really need to weigh who you're trying to reach, but social media has definitely opened everything up to a whole new way of doing business.
Sure has.
Yeah, definitely. And with that being said, what do you believe is the most effective form of advertising?
Word of mouth, right?
Well, yeah.
Word of mouth is, it's the most effective form, but in order to establish word of mouth, you have to do advertising to generate interest in your product or service, and you better promise what you deliver. Now, if you do, you're gonna get that great third-party word of mouth endorsement. I went to Tony's Pizza and it was really tremendous. I went to Charlie's Dry Cleaner and he was great. He delivered when he said he would. So the word of mouth is key because there's credibility with that. But we still have to advertise.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to what I said earlier, the most effective form, there's no answer. There's really no right answer. It depends
on the client,
the product and who the target audience is. So you really, even if we love radio, for example, it could be totally wrong for a client.
Some clients make the mistake, they want to go into a media that they like, or they don't want to go into a media that they don't like. And that may be okay, but it's not necessarily good for their product or service that they're advertising. Get past that. Don't advertise on the radio station because your boss listens to it. Advertise on the radio station because it's right for their product and target.
Exactly.
So it's all about knowing your client.
Better.
Exactly, yep.
And how can you tell if your ad was effective?
Well, from a direct response or an immediate response ad, we know right away. If you're doing something for a retailer, a restaurant, a clothing store, a jeweler, a real estate who's having a grand opening or whatever, you know right away because you'll run whatever ad you're doing, digital, traditional, whatever, and if the sale is Friday, you're gonna know Friday if that ad worked because the client's gonna tell you the place was packed or nobody showed up, so you know right away. Now that's in a retail environment. Branding is a whole different
branding
story.
is different, the automotive industry, and they do a great job, and most people don't need a car at a given time, but when you do need a car, all of a sudden you already kind of know the cars that you like. There's an image that maybe you've associated with, you feel that type of car is right for you. The advertising has helped formulate that, but you wouldn't get an immediate response. If, Lexus is running a national campaign or they're running on the Super Bowl, not everybody who sees it is gonna run out and buy a Lexus.
Right.
They only wish, but fast forward 6 months, a year, even 18 months, there's people that are going to walk into a Lexus dealership. Why? They may not even be able to tell you, but they feel a connection to it. Well, how did that happen? A lot of it has to do with the advertising.
And how do both the account and creative teams work together when formulating these ads?
here we work together great. We really do. Donna's on the front line with the client all the time, so she has that day-to-day contact with the client, and then she comes back with the information that we need in order to create the ad, the commercials, or whatever. So she's got to get as much information as she can, and then she's got to give it to us so we dopes can understand what the heck we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And she's great at that. So that's one part. Then the other part is, I think in any agency, the account team and the creative team has to trust each other, and they have to work well together. And frankly, we do that because there are days when Donna may have an emergency that we didn't expect. The client calls up and says, "Oh, I forgot, I need this by tomorrow."
I just sent you an email right along those lines.
But again, perfect case in point. So what we'll then do is do whatever we can to help her out. By the same token, there may be periods where we're very, very busy, and Donna will need something promised to the client, Tuesday afternoon, and I'm crawling in going, "Can I please give this to the client Wednesday morning?" And she takes care of that. She calls the client. So I think we work great.
Yeah, we do.
In our agency, we do.
And communication is key.
Oh, it's key.
Here we are in the
Yeah,
communications
it's
industry.
key.
We have to communicate well with each other, or it'll fall apart at the other end. So it's keeping Tom and his team in the loop on everything. Everything about a client, a product, what they're planning, why they're doing it, how it's positioned. The more they know, the better the ad
Absolutely.
will be.
I always say we're all about information. You can't give me enough information. And I always say a point we tell clients, if you think there's something, I don't need to tell them this, tell us. Because you never know, that little thing that you left out may hold the key to a great campaign, right? So
Exactly.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been great, and thank you for everything and talking about Success Communications.
Thanks a lot.
Advertising
Great.
department.
Happy to
Thank
do it.
you.